There comes a moment in every person's life when silence speaks louder than words. When you find yourself staring into the mirror, asking quietly, "How much more can I take?" The truth is, life doesn't test your strength by what it gives you. It tests it by what it takes away. Your peace, your plans, your certainty, your control. And in those moments, when the world feels too heavy, something incredible begins to awaken within you. Not the loud kind of power, not the one that shouts or flexes, but the silent kind, the unbreakable kind, the kind that doesn't crumble when life does. That is inner strength, the invisible force that carries you through storms, heartbreaks, losses and doubts. It's what keeps you standing when everything around you is falling apart. This audiobook is your guide, not to becoming perfect, but to becoming powerful within. Because true strength isn't about winning every battle. It's about refusing to surrender who you are, no matter what you face. So take a deep breath. You are about to remember just how strong you've always been. Chapter 1: The Quiet Fire Within. Have you ever noticed how, in the quiet moments, when the noise fades and the world finally slows down, something inside you begins to stir? It's faint at first, a flicker, a whisper, but it's there, that undeniable sense that you were made for more than just surviving. That feeling, that pull deep in your chest, that's not restlessness. It's strength, quiet, waiting, and ancient. It's there your entire life, through every heartbreak, every challenge, every time you thought you couldn't go on, and still did. The truth is, inner strength doesn't shout. It doesn't announce itself with noise or bravado. It lives in silence, in the way you keep moving when no one's watching, in the way you hold yourself together when everything else is falling apart, in the way you rise, even when you have every reason to stay down. We often think strength looks like power, confidence, or control, but real strength, real, immense inner strength, is quiet. It's soft-spoken, but unbreakable. It's built in the invisible places, inside your thoughts, your patience, your persistence. Let me ask you something. How many times have you survived what you once thought would destroy you? How many storms have you walked through, barefoot, bleeding, certain you wouldn't make it? And yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still trying. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's strength. Yours. But most people never truly see it in themselves, because the world doesn't teach us to recognize quiet courage. It tells us strength is loud, that it's about dominance, success, or pretending to be fine when we're not. But that's not strength. That's armor. And armor may protect you, but it also weighs you down. It keeps you from feeling, from growing, from becoming. True strength, the kind that lasts, the kind that transforms, begins when you stop wearing armor and start standing bare in your truth. When you stop pretending to be invincible and instead choose to be real. It's in that moment of raw honesty with yourself that something powerful happens. You begin to meet your true self, the self that's been there all along, waiting beneath the noise, beneath the doubt. Maybe you felt lost lately. Maybe you've been searching for direction, for meaning, for something solid to hold on to. And that's okay, because everything you've been searching for is already within you. Think about a seed buried underground. It's surrounded by darkness, pressure, and silence. And yet that's exactly where growth begins. Not in the sunlight, not in comfort, but in the quiet, unseen struggle beneath the surface. Your strength grows the same way. Every hardship you've endured, every moment that tested you, was shaping you into who you were meant to be. The pain wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You see, the world often confuses comfort with peace, but they are not the same. Comfort is temporary, peace is eternal. And peace only comes when you make peace with your own power, when you stop doubting it, fearing it, and start trusting it. Inner strength isn't about being fearless. It's about being brave with fear. It's not about being untouched by life's struggles. It's about meeting them, facing them, and letting them refine you, instead of define you. There's a quiet dignity in that, the kind that doesn't seek validation, the kind that doesn't need to be seen to be real. The truth is, every time you choose to keep going, when it would have been easier to give up, you're proving your strength. Every time you forgive when it hurts, hope when it's hard, love when it feels impossible, you're building something unshakable inside yourself. Strength isn't born in the moments you win. It's born in the moments you endure. So if you've ever wondered whether you're strong enough, let me remind you, you already are. You've been strong every time you didn't see a way forward, but still took one more step. Every time you faced the unknown and walked through it anyway. Every time you broke but didn't stay broken. The quiet fire within you is real. It may flicker, it may dim, but it never dies. It's your will, your faith, your essence. And every challenge you face in life is simply an invitation to find that fire, to feed it, to let it light your path forward. When you finally stop running from your own strength and start standing inside it, life begins to change. Your fears shrink, your confidence deepens, your peace expands, and you begin to realize something extraordinary, that nothing outside of you has ever truly held the power to define you. You have carried your strength all along, not in your victories, but in your endurance, not in your certainty, but in your courage to move even when uncertain. So right here, right now, make a promise to yourself to no longer underestimate the quiet fire inside you, to no longer wait for someone else to see your worth before you do, and to remember that even on your weakest days, you are still strong, because you keep showing up. This is where the journey begins, not in trying to become someone else, but in remembering who you are beneath the doubt, beneath the scars, beneath the noise. You are not broken. You are becoming. And that becoming, that transformation, is the foundation of true inner strength. So as we move forward into the next chapter, take a breath, feel the weight of the past, start to lift, slowly but surely, because the next step, the one we're about to take, is where your illusion of weakness begins to dissolve, and in its place, you'll begin to see your true power, raw, real, and unstoppable. This is where your story of strength truly begins. Chapter 2, Breaking the Illusion of Weakness. There's a moment in every person's life when they quietly ask themselves, why do I feel so small? Maybe it happens after a failure, or a heartbreak, or a moment when life stripped away everything you thought you could rely on. It's that quiet ache, the voice that whispers, you're not strong enough for this. But here's the truth, that voice is a lie, a beautifully convincing illusion that has fooled countless souls into living beneath their potential. And today, we break that illusion. You are not weak. You have never been weak. You've simply forgotten how powerful you are. Think of it this way, a bird raised in a cage begins to believe that flying is dangerous. It doesn't know that the sky was always its home. And many of us live the same way, trapped inside invisible walls, built by fear, by doubt, by the opinions of others. We forget that the strength we seek outside has been living quietly within us all along. The illusion of weakness begins the moment we start believing that pain means failure, that fear means fragility, that struggle means something is wrong with us. But none of that is true. Fear is not proof of weakness, it's evidence of growth. Struggle is not punishment, it's training and pain. Pain is simply a message, a call to rise higher. You see, life will always test you, not to expose how weak you are, but to show you how strong you can become. The problem is, most people stop too early. They give up just before their breakthrough. They misread discomfort as defeat, when in reality, it's the universe sculpting their strength. Let me tell you something deeply human. Every person you've ever admired, every soul that has inspired you, they've all known doubt. They've all had moments of fear, of tears, of uncertainty. But what separates the strong from the defeated isn't what they feel, it's what they decide. Strength doesn't mean you never fall apart. It means you know you can rebuild. It means that when everything within you screams to stop, something deeper whispers, keep going. That whisper, that quiet defiance against despair, that's who you really are. That's your essence. But somewhere along the way, life teaches us to silence that voice. We learn to compare, to doubt, to judge ourselves against impossible standards. We're told we're too emotional, too sensitive, too slow, too different, and so we start believing that our softness, our vulnerability, our sensitivity are weaknesses to hide. But here's the secret most never learn. What you think is weakness is often the birthplace of your greatest strength. Your empathy allows you to heal others. Your sensitivity allows you to see beauty others miss. Your scars allow you to understand pain in a way that makes your compassion limitless. These are not flaws, these are powers, disguised by a world that has forgotten how to feel. So when you catch yourself thinking I'm not enough, pause, ask yourself, who told me that? Where did that voice come from? Because that belief isn't born from truth, it's inherited, passed down through years of comparison, failure, and misunderstanding. It's not your voice. It's the echo of someone else's fear, living rent-free in your mind. And once you see it for what it is, an illusion, it loses its power. The truth is, strength has never been about being unshakable. It's about being human, and still choosing to rise. It's crying, and still trying. It's being terrified, but still stepping forward. Weakness isn't the opposite of strength, it's the doorway to it. Because only when you face your perceived weakness do you uncover what's been waiting beneath it, your resilience. Imagine standing before a mirror. What if instead of seeing someone fragile, you saw someone forged by fire? Every scar a story of survival, every doubt a reminder of what you've overcome, every tear proof that you still care enough to keep fighting. That's not weakness, that's strength, dressed in honesty. We live in a world obsessed with appearance, with confidence that's loud, success that's visible, strength that's polished, but real strength isn't always beautiful. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's just you, sitting alone at 2 a.m., holding yourself together with nothing but faith. And that's enough. That's more than enough, because inner strength is not something you show, it's something you know. It's the calm after the storm, the peace that doesn't depend on what happens next. It's that unshakable part of you that life can bruise, but never destroy. So let this be your reminder. You are not broken, you are becoming unbreakable. And becoming unbreakable doesn't mean never feeling weak. It means you stop mistaking your temporary moments of pain as permanent truths about who you are. It means you stop seeing your cracks as proof of failure and start seeing them as places where light gets in. Take a moment now and think of the last time you said to yourself, I can't do this. You said those words, and yet, here you are. You did it. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not easily, but you made it through, and that, my friend, is strength in its purest form. So what if, starting today, you stopped running from what scares you? What if you stopped labeling every challenge as evidence of your weakness, and started seeing it as an opportunity to rediscover your strength? Because every challenge is a mirror, and what it reflects is not your limits, but your potential. Breaking the illusion of weakness isn't a single moment of realization. It's a daily choice, a choice to stop doubting, to stop apologizing, to stop shrinking for the comfort of others. It's the choice to say, I may bend, but I will not break. The truth is simple but powerful. You don't need to become stronger. You already are. You just need to remember. Remember who you were before the world convinced you otherwise. Remember the child who believed, the dreamer who dared, the soul that didn't care about perfection, only possibility. That part of you never disappeared. It's still here, waiting for you to look inward and say, So as we step forward into the next chapter, hold on to this truth. You are not weak because you feel. You are strong because you continue. You are strong because you choose to try, again and again when no one's watching. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into this truth, into the power of acceptance, because once you stop fighting who you are, you begin to unlock who you can become, and that's where real transformation begins. Chapter 3. The Power of Acceptance. There's a moment, quiet, unassuming, and yet utterly life-changing, when a person finally stops fighting reality. It's the moment you whisper to yourself, this is what it is, and I'm still okay. Most people never reach that point. They spend their lives wrestling with what they wish hadn't happened, clinging to what's already gone, or resisting what simply is. And in doing so, they waste the very energy they need to grow. Acceptance is not surrender. It's not giving up. It's the moment you stop trying to rewrite the past and begin to rewrite your future. You see, we all carry invisible battles inside us, the job that didn't work out, the relationship that ended too soon, the dream that never became real. And every time life doesn't match the image we painted in our minds, we grieve, we resist, we tell ourselves, it shouldn't be this way. But what if it should? What if everything that broke you was not meant to destroy you but to direct you? What if the very thing you've been resisting is the same thing meant to rebuild you? Acceptance is the bridge between pain and peace. It doesn't erase what hurt you, it transforms how that hurt lives within you. Because when you accept what is, you stop feeding the suffering that comes from wishing things were different. Think about it. How many nights have you lost sleep, replaying a moment you can't change? How many times have you punished yourself for choices you didn't know better about at the time? We all do it. We cling to the idea that we could have done something differently, that maybe if we had been stronger, wiser, braver, the outcome would have changed. But life isn't meant to be perfect. It's meant to be lived and learned from. Acceptance is an act of courage. It's saying, this happened. I didn't want it to. I can't change it. But I will grow from it. It's the beginning of freedom. Imagine standing in front of a river. You can fight the current, exhaust yourself trying to swim against it, or you can surrender to its flow, let it carry you forward. That's what acceptance feels like, not defeat, but alignment. When you stop fighting what you cannot control, you start moving with life, not against it. But acceptance isn't just for the big things. Heartbreak, failure, loss. It's for the small, everyday moments too. The traffic jam you can't avoid. The person who misunderstands you. The plan that falls apart. Each one is a tiny invitation from life to let go of control and trust the flow. Because control is an illusion, a comforting one, yes, but still an illusion. We plan, we predict, we prepare. Yet life remains unpredictable. And the irony is that our constant fight to control everything is what drains us the most. Acceptance restores that energy. It's a quiet returning to presence, to peace, to power. When you truly accept something, a shift happens. Your mind stops obsessing, your body relaxes, and your soul exhales. That exhale, that's the moment you begin to heal. Let's be clear though, acceptance doesn't mean you have to like what happened. It doesn't mean you justify it or agree with it. It simply means you're no longer chained to it. You no longer let it dictate who you are or where you're headed. It's looking at your past and saying, "That hurt me, but it also shaped me." It's looking at a loss and saying, "That chapter ended, but I'm still here to write the next one." It's looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, "I forgive you for what you didn't know." Forgiveness and acceptance walk hand in hand. You can't fully accept life without forgiving it. You can't fully forgive yourself without accepting what's done. And until you do both, peace will always feel like something far away, something other people have, but you don't. There's immense power in realizing that peace is not a reward. It's a practice. It's a daily choice to stop fighting the moment you're in. So if you're tired of overthinking, of replaying, of trying to control what you can't, take this as your invitation to let go, not to give up, but to give in to reality, to trust that life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Every loss, every delay, every disappointment, it's all guiding you somewhere new. And when you stop clinging to what was, your hands finally become free to receive what is next. I know, letting go sounds simple, but it's not. It takes practice. It takes reminding yourself over and over again that acceptance doesn't mean indifference. It means choosing peace over control, presence over perfection, wisdom over worry. And when you live that way, something inside you changes forever. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and start seeing yourself as a partner in it. You begin to flow, not because the waves get smaller, but because you've learned how to move with them. The strongest souls are not those who avoid chaos. They are the ones who can find calm within it. That calm is built through acceptance. It's the realization that nothing can truly destroy you unless you let it define you. You've been through storms before. You've lost things you thought you could never live without, and yet you did. You lived. You adapted. You found new ways to smile again. That's what acceptance gives you. Not the erasure of pain, but the rediscovery of peace. So take a moment now and breathe. Not the shallow breath of anxiety, but the deep, grounding breath of surrender. Because right here in this exact moment, there's nothing missing, nothing broken. Just life unfolding, evolving, inviting you to trust it. When you can accept what's behind you, you can finally move toward what's ahead of you, lighter, freer, stronger. This is where inner strength deepens, not in control, not in perfection, but in peace, quiet, steady peace. And that peace becomes the foundation for everything else that follows. Because once you've accepted what is, you open the door to something even greater, the ability to transform it. In the next chapter, we'll explore that transformation, how pain, once accepted, can become your greatest teacher. Because the truth is, the very wounds you once wished away may be the ones that lead you to your highest strength. So take a breath and step forward. The lesson is waiting. Chapter 4. Turning pain into power. There's a moment, quiet and raw, when pain strips you bare, when the walls you've built collapse, and all the noise of the world fades into a single truth. You can't go back to who you were before this. That moment hurts. It feels like loss, like something inside you has been shattered beyond repair. But what if I told you that within that very breaking lies the seed of your greatest strength? That pain, if you dare to face it, is not the end, it's the beginning of your transformation. Every person you've ever admired, every soul who radiates unshakable strength, carries a story of pain. The difference is, they didn't run from it. They faced it, learned from it, and built their power from its lessons. Pain is the universe's way of getting your attention. It says, something must change. It says, you've outgrown who you used to be. It's life's most honest messenger, cruel in delivery, but wise in purpose. When you stop resisting your pain and start listening to it, everything changes, because pain always has a message, And until you hear it, it will keep knocking on your door through repeating patterns, broken relationships, or quiet emptiness that refuses to go away. The question is not why you suffer, but what your suffering is trying to teach you. Think about the hardest chapter of your life, the one you never wanted to relive. Maybe it was betrayal, maybe it was loss, maybe it was a moment when the person in the mirror felt like a stranger. You may not have seen it then, but in that chapter, you met the part of yourself that only pain could reveal, your resilience. Resilience isn't built in comfort, it's forged in fire. Every scar you carry is proof that you survived what once tried to break you. And the more you face pain with courage, the more power you reclaim. Because pain only controls you when you hide from it. When you meet it head on, when you look at it and say, "You don't scare me anymore," it begins to lose its grip. That's when transformation begins. Let's be honest, pain demands honesty. It strips away illusions. It forces you to confront truths you've avoided, the people you need to let go of, the habits that drain you, the self-doubt you keep feeding. It shows you without sugarcoating what is no longer meant for you. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Every time life hurts, it's preparing you to carry something greater, more wisdom, more purpose, more compassion. Because strength without empathy can become arrogance, and empathy without boundaries can become self-destruction. Pain teaches you both. There's a saying you've probably heard, "Time heals all wounds," but that's not true. What you do with your time heals your wounds. Healing is not waiting for the ache to fade, it's choosing to grow through it, even when it still hurts. Some days, that means showing up with tears in your eyes, but courage in your heart. It means saying, "I'm not okay, but I'm still trying." And that trying, that quiet persistence, is power in its purest form. Because healing isn't dramatic. It's not lightning bolts or sudden awakening. It's slow, it's messy, it's learning to smile again, not because the pain is gone, but because you're learning to live beyond it. The most powerful people are not the ones who never fell, they're the ones who learned how to rise again and again with open heart. Pain softens you in all the right ways. It humbles you, it deepens your understanding of others. It reminds you that strength isn't about never breaking, it's about rebuilding yourself stronger and wiser each time you do. So, how do you turn pain into power? You stop asking why me and start asking what now. You stop waiting for life to go back to what it was and begin creating what it can be. You start using the lessons your pain taught you, the patience, the empathy, the inner fire, to build something meaningful. Pain, when transformed, becomes purpose. It becomes art. It becomes service. It becomes wisdom you pass on to others who are still lost in the dark. Because one day, someone will look at you, steady, calm, grounded, and have no idea what it took for you to become that way. But you'll know that every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt was not wasted. It was building you. Remember this, pain is temporary, but the strength it gives you lasts a lifetime. When you shift your perspective, pain becomes less of an enemy and more of a teacher that shows you who you really are when the world falls apart. So if you're still hurting, if the wound is fresh, or the memory still aches, don't rush it. Sit with it. Listen. Ask it what it's trying to show you, because somewhere inside that ache is a truth about yourself you've never seen before. And when you finally find it, you'll understand the pain didn't destroy you. It revealed you. It revealed the strength, the wisdom, the courage that was always inside you waiting to be awakened. Turning pain into power is not a single decision. It's a daily practice of choosing growth over bitterness, gratitude over resentment, and faith over fear. It's understanding that life doesn't owe you comfort, it offers you evolution. And evolution always comes with discomfort, but the more you embrace it, the freer you become. Because once you learn that your pain can serve you, it stops controlling you. So today, let your pain speak, but let your strength answer louder. Let your scars remind you not of what you've lost, but of what you've gained. Let your story be proof that even in the deepest darkness, there is light, and that light is you. In the next chapter, we'll go even deeper into the art of resilience. We'll explore how to not only rise from your pain, but to keep rising, no matter how many times life tests you. Because strength isn't built in one moment of victory, it's built in every moment you choose to rise again. Take a breath, feel the power that your pain has already given you. And know this, the fire that once burned you is now the light that will guide you forward. Chapter 5. The Art of Resilience. Rising again and again. There's a silence that comes after a storm, not peace exactly, but clarity. The world feels different. The air is sharper, the ground beneath your feet a little more certain. You've survived something that could have broken you, and now you're still standing. That silence, that fragile space between what was and what comes next, is where resilience is born. It's not in the triumph. It's not in the applause or the victory. Resilience is forged in the quiet moments, when you choose to rise, even though no one is watching. We like to imagine strength as something loud, powerful, unstoppable. But true resilience whispers. It doesn't shout, "I'm fine." It says softly, "I'll try again tomorrow." You see, resilience isn't about never falling. It's about the grace of standing back up over and over, until standing becomes second nature. It's the heartbeat that refuses to stop, even when the world feels heavy. Think back to every challenge you faced, every heartbreak, every failure, every moment when you wanted to quit. At the time it felt like the end, but it wasn't. You adapted, you learned, you healed. That's resilience, the quiet proof that you've already survived your worst days. Resilience is built one small choice at a time, the choice to show up, the choice to believe there's more ahead of you than behind you, the choice to trust that pain has a purpose, even when you can't yet see it. Life will test you. That's not a question of if, but when. But resilience means knowing those tests don't define you, they refine you. Each one sharpens your mind, steadies your heart, and strengthens your spirit. But here's the truth that many people miss. Resilience isn't about being tough all the time. It's not about pretending nothing affects you. It's about being real, allowing yourself to feel the pain, the confusion, the fear, and then deciding to keep going anyway. The strongest souls are not those who never cry. They're the ones who cry, rest, and rise again with their hearts still open. Let me share something with you. There was a man who lost everything, his job, his home, his confidence. Each day, he woke up not knowing how he'd make it through. But instead of surrendering to despair, he began to walk. Every morning, he walked for an hour, no matter how hopeless he felt. One day turned into two became 10. Those walks became his ritual of resilience, a daily reminder that movement is life. He rebuilt from nothing, not through a sudden miracle, but through quiet, consistent courage. That's what resilience looks like, the steady defiance of despair. When life knocks you down, you have two choices. Stay down and wait for someone to save you, or rise and remind yourself that you are your own rescue. Resilience is not inherited, it's created, and every time you rise, you teach your mind that you can. But resilience also means flexibility. It's not about being made of stone, it's about being made of spirit. A tree that refuses to bend will break in a storm, but one that sways with the wind one that bends and yields, survives and grows even stronger. The same is true for you. Rigidity breaks you. Adaptability saves you. Resilience asks you to be both strong and soft. Strong enough to endure, soft enough to evolve. It's the balance between holding your ground and learning when to let go. So how do you build it? Start with self-trust, because resilience begins the moment you decide to believe in yourself again, even after failure. When you trust your ability to rise, the fear of falling begins to fade. Next, nurture perspective. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? When you view your struggles as lessons, instead of punishments, pain loses its power to define you. Suddenly, you're no longer the victim of your circumstances, you're the student of your own becoming. And most importantly, keep moving forward, no matter how small the step. Resilience doesn't require leaps. It only asks for momentum. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just take one more breath, one more step, one more try. There's beauty in resilience, because it transforms suffering into wisdom. It turns wounds into stories of survival. It reshapes fear into fuel. Resilience is the art of turning every ending into a new beginning. But remember, resilience is not built in isolation. Even the strongest need connection. Don't be afraid to lean on others when you need to. Strength doesn't mean doing it all alone. It means knowing when to reach out and when to rest. You are not weak for needing help. You are human. And the human spirit, when supported, seen and believed in, is unstoppable. Every scar you carry tells a story, not of defeat, but of endurance. Each one whispers, I made it through. And when life tries to test you again, those scars remind you of the truth. You've already faced darkness, and you found your way back to the light. So don't fear the next challenge. Meet it with the quiet confidence of someone who has been here before, someone who knows that storms pass, and that no night lasts forever. Resilience is not about bouncing back to who you were. It's about emerging as someone wiser, calmer, and more grounded than before. It's the art of rising, not to be the same, but to be transformed. So when the next setback comes, and it will, remember this: you are not starting over from zero. You're starting again from experience, strength, from wisdom. Resilience is not just surviving, it's thriving. Because you've survived, it's learning to trust that every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. So take this moment now. Look at where you are. You've already risen from so much. You've already proven your strength countless times. You are more resilient than you realize. And as we move into the next chapter, we'll explore the next layer of this journey, the power of self-discipline. Because resilience gives you the will to rise, but discipline gives you the direction to keep climbing. Together, they form the foundation of unshakable inner strength, the kind that no storm can destroy, and no circumstance can take away. Chapter 6. The Power of Discipline, Mastering the Self Within. There's a quiet moment that separates dreamers from doers. It's the moment when the excitement fades, when motivation runs dry, and only discipline remains. It's in that silence, that stillness, that the real work begins. Anyone can start. Few continue, and only the disciplined, only those who keep going when no one is watching, when no one applauds, when no one even believes, reach the summit of their potential. Discipline is not glamorous, it's not loud or dramatic, it's the invisible engine behind every life of greatness. It's the daily decision to act according to your purpose, not your mood. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. It's the muscle that strengthens every other part of your life, your health, your goals, your relationships, your peace of mind. But here's what most people get wrong. Discipline isn't punishment, it's not self-denial, it's self-respect. It's saying to yourself, I am worthy of keeping the promises I make to me. When you understand that, discipline stops being a battle and starts becoming an act of love. Think of the people you admire most. The ones who seem unshakable, unstoppable, grounded. They weren't born that way. They built that strength through discipline, through doing what needed to be done, even when they didn't feel like it. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to become. It's what transforms potential into reality. Without it, dreams stay dreams. Beautiful but unfulfilled. You see, discipline doesn't ask, do you feel like it today? It simply says, show up anyway. There will be days when you're tired, days when the world feels heavy and progress feels invisible, days when quitting seems easier than trying again. And that's exactly when discipline steps in, not as force but as faith. Faith in your purpose, faith in your vision, faith that what you're building will be worth it, even if you can't see it yet. Every habit you keep, every small action you repeat, is a vote for the person you're becoming. The early mornings, the focused hours, the quiet sacrifices, they're not wasted effort. They're proof that you're choosing strength over weakness, purpose over comfort. Discipline is built in the moments no one else will ever see. When you say no to distractions, when you choose to work instead of scroll, when you practice patience instead of seeking shortcuts. Each of those choices forges your inner strength, slowly, silently, but surely. It's not always about grand gestures, it's about micro movements of willpower. It's brushing your teeth when you're exhausted. It's writing one more paragraph when your mind says stop. It's walking into the gym when every cell in your body says stay home. Discipline is freedom disguised as structure. Because when you control your actions, you reclaim your life. You stop being ruled by impulses and emotions. You become deliberate, not reactive, but intentional. Most people wait for motivation to act, but discipline understands a deeper truth. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel ready. You act your way into readiness. And that's where growth begins. Let's get real. Discipline will cost you. It will ask you to trade comfort for commitment, distraction for focus, instant gratification for lasting satisfaction. But what it gives you in return is priceless. It gives you confidence, the quiet kind that comes from keeping promises to yourself. It gives you stability, the calm that comes from knowing you're in control of your choices. And it gives you freedom, because self-mastery is the highest form of liberty. When you're disciplined, you no longer live at the mercy of moods or circumstance. You stop saying I can't and start saying I will. You stop waiting for life to change and start creating the change yourself. And yes, there will be times when you stumble, when you break your routine, lose focus, or give in to temptation. That's part of the process. Discipline isn't destroyed by failure. It's strengthened by recovery. Because true discipline isn't about never falling. It's about rising faster each time you do. The most disciplined people aren't perfect. They're simply relentless. They've learned the art of beginning again, without self-judgment, without excuses. Every sunrise is another chance to start over. Remember this, discipline doesn't limit your life, it expands. It gives you the structure to create, the focus to grow, and the endurance to keep going long after the initial spark has faded. It's the foundation of greatness and the protector of peace. Because when you're disciplined, you no longer chase every fleeting emotion. You become centered, steady, intentional. You act from alignment, not impulse, and that's the essence of inner strength. To command yourself before you try to command the world. You might wonder, where do I begin? Start small. Start with one commitment. Wake up 5 minutes earlier. Read one page. Move your body. Keep one promise to yourself today. Just one. Then do it again tomorrow. Small wins become strong habits. Strong habits become unshakable character. The magic of discipline is that it compounds. What feels insignificant today becomes transformation over time. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to be consistent. And consistency, over time, makes you unstoppable. So ask yourself, are you living by default or by design? Are you reacting to life or creating it? Because the difference between the two is discipline. It's time to choose the life you were meant to live, the life that only reveals itself through persistent, patient, purposeful effort. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep showing up. As we move into the next chapter, we'll explore something that complements discipline, focus. Because once you've built the habit of showing up, the next challenge is learning where to direct your energy. Focus turns discipline into power. And when you learn to master both, you'll stop chasing strength and start embodying it. For now, remember this: discipline is not your enemy. It's the hand that guides you when you're lost. It's the voice that says, keep going. It's the quiet force that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary change. And it's already within you, waiting to be claimed, practiced, and lived. Chapter 7: The Art of Focus. Guarding what truly matters. The world is louder than ever. Every second, something is trying to steal your attention. A notification, a distraction, a thought that pulls you away from what truly matters. We live in a time where focus has become the rarest form of power. Imagine your mind as a beam of light. When scattered, it glows faintly, pretty, but weak. But when concentrated, that same light becomes a laser, sharp enough to cut through steel. That's the difference between an unfocused life and a focused one. Focus isn't about doing more, it's about doing less, with greater purpose. It's not about cramming every minute with activity, it's about giving your full presence to what truly deserves your energy. You see, most people don't fail because they lack effort. They fail because their effort is divided. They chase too many things, spread themselves too thin, and wonder why they feel drained but unfulfilled. The truth is, you cannot go deep if you're always scattered wide. Focus is what separates noise from meaning. It's what transforms random motion into deliberate progress. It's the discipline of saying no, even to good things, so you can say yes to the right things. But here's the challenge: the world rewards distraction. It feeds on your attention. Every app, every advertisement, every algorithm is designed to pull you away from yourself. And every time you give in, a little piece of your clarity slips away. That's why protecting your focus is an act of self-defense. It's not just productivity, it's preservation. It's protecting your mind from being consumed by the noise of everything that doesn't matter. Focus begins with awareness. Ask yourself, what truly deserves my attention today? Not what others expect, not what feels urgent, but what actually moves you toward your vision, your peace, your growth. When you learn to focus, you start to see the difference between activity and achievement, between being busy and being effective, between movement and direction, because sometimes we mistake motion for meaning. We rush, we multitask, we fill our days to prove we're doing something, but focus teaches us that progress doesn't come from how much we do, it comes from how deeply we do it. To live with focus, you must first learn to pause. Silence isn't wasted time, it's where clarity lives. Step away from the noise long enough to hear your own thoughts again. That's where you reconnect with what truly matters. Think about the last time you were completely absorbed in something, when time disappeared and you felt alive, fully present. That was focus in its purest form. That's not a rare state, it's your natural one, but you can only reach it when you stop letting the world pull your attention in 1,000 directions. The power of focus lies in simplicity. It's choosing one direction, one goal, one task, and giving it everything you have. It's cutting through the fog of everything to find the clarity of this. You can't hit a target you don't aim at, and you can't aim if your mind is everywhere at once. So how do you sharpen your focus? Start by decluttering your mind and your environment. Remove what distracts you both physically and mentally. Focus is not about adding more, it's about subtracting the unnecessary. Next, give your time a purpose. Don't just wake up and react to the world. Design your day with intention. Before you check your phone, ask yourself what matters most right now. Protect that answer fiercely, and then commit fully. When you work, work. When you rest, rest. When you're with someone, be there completely. Divided attention weakens everything it touches, but undivided presence transforms it. Focus is also emotional. It's not just managing your attention, it's mastering your energy. Every distraction carries a cost, not just in time, but in mental peace. And every time you say no to distraction, you say yes to yourself. True focus comes from clarity of values. You can't focus if you don't know what's important, so ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Is it growth, peace, family, purpose? Once you know that, focus becomes effortless, because distractions lose their power. In a way, focus is sacred. It's how you honor your goals. It's how you respect your own time and potential. It's a quiet promise that says, I refuse to waste my life on things that don't move me forward. And here's the beauty of it. When you start focusing deeply, the world slows down. You stop feeling like you're chasing time, and instead, you start directing it. You gain control not of everything, but of yourself, and that's where peace begins. You'll start noticing that most of what you thought mattered doesn't, that most of the noise is just that noise, and beneath it all, there's a stillness, a clarity waiting to guide you. Focus is not a one-time choice, it's a daily decision. Every morning, you'll be asked, will you give your attention to what's urgent, or to what's important? That question defines the course of your life, so slow down. Center yourself, guard your focus, like the treasure it is, because once lost, it's hard to regain. But once mastered, it becomes your greatest power. When you learn to focus, you become unstoppable. Because while others are scattered, you are centered. While they chase everything, you move towards something. And that's how meaningful lives are built, one focused moment at a time. As we move to the next chapter, we'll explore the natural evolution of focus. Presence, because focus is about attention, but presence is about awareness. Focus gets things done. Presence gives them meaning. So as this chapter closes, take a breath. Let the noise fade. And remember, where your focus goes, your life flows. Protect it, direct it, and use it to build something that lasts beyond distraction, something that truly matters. Chapter 8, The Power of Presence. Living fully in the moment. There's a quiet kind of magic in the present moment, but most people never see it, because we're always somewhere else. Our bodies may be here, but our minds drift, replaying yesterday, rehearsing tomorrow, worrying about things that may never come. We scroll through memories like they're movie scenes. We rush toward futures that don't yet exist. And in between all of that rushing, life slips quietly through our fingers. Presence is the art of coming home to this exact moment, right here, right now. It's not something you chase, it's something you return to. When you are present, you begin to truly see again. You notice the sound of your own breath, the way sunlight hits your skin, the small, almost invisible details of life that you once overlooked. You begin to feel alive again, not in thought, but in being. The greatest tragedy of our time isn't that we don't have enough, it's that we don't notice enough. We move through our days like we're half awake, trapped in thought, never realizing that the beauty we seek is already around us. Presence brings that beauty back to life. But presence isn't easy, because the world we live in rewards speed, not stillness. It tells you that slowing down is falling behind, that multitasking is mastery, that silence is uncomfortable. Yet, the truth is, silence is sacred. In stillness, you meet yourself again. You meet the part of you that doesn't need to prove anything, impress anyone, or control everything. You meet the peace beneath the noise. Being present isn't about ignoring your past or abandoning your goals. It's about anchoring your awareness in this breath, this heartbeat, this single moment that life has given you, because this moment is the only place where life actually happens. Think about it. You can't feel joy in the past. You can't experience love in the future. You can only feel it now. That's why presence is power. It turns ordinary experiences into sacred ones. A walk becomes meditation. A conversation becomes connection. A meal becomes gratitude. Even the smallest acts begin to feel meaningful because you're in them. Presence doesn't require perfection. It requires attention. You don't have to have your life figured out. You just have to show up for it, moment by moment, breath by breath. And yet, the mind resists this. It constantly pulls you away, reminding you of what's missing, what went wrong, what might go wrong. It whispers, you should be somewhere else, doing something else, being someone else. But presence is rebellion against that voice. It's choosing to stop running from life and instead to experience it. It's saying, this moment is enough, even if it's imperfect, even if it's painful, even if it's not what you planned, because the present moment, as simple as it seems, is the doorway to every form of peace you're searching for. You can't heal in the future. You can't forgive in the past. You can only do it here. Presence also deepens relationships. When you listen, truly listen, people feel it. They sense your attention, your care, your stillness. It's one of the rarest gifts you can give in a world that's constantly distracted. To look someone in the eyes and actually be there, not half there, not checking your phone, not rehearsing your response, fully there. That's connection. That's love in its purest form. And it doesn't just transform relationships with others. It transforms your relationship with yourself. Because when you're present, you stop living from autopilot. You begin to notice the thoughts that drain you, the habits that no longer serve you, the patterns that keep repeating. Awareness always comes before change, and awareness lives only in the present. So how do you practice presence? Start by noticing. Right now, take a slow breath, feel it move through you. The air, the life, the stillness between each inhale and exhale. That's presence. It's not complicated. It's not mystical. It's simply here. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you work, just work. Don't let your mind pull you into 1,000 directions. Keep returning, gently, kindly, again and again, to this moment. Presence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. At first your mind will wander constantly. That's okay. That's what minds do. Your job isn't to fight it. Your job is to notice it and return. Over time, you'll realize something extraordinary, that peace was never missing. It was simply hidden beneath layers of noise. Presence removes those layers, one breath at a time. When you live fully in the moment, life feels slower but deeper. You stop racing through your days and start experiencing them. You notice the little victories, the quiet beauty, the lessons hidden inside ordinary days. And that's where fulfillment begins. The truth is, every moment is a miracle dressed as routine. But most people never unwrap it. They're too busy waiting for something grand, something worthy of their attention. But the grandest thing you'll ever experience is this moment you're living right now. Presence is not an escape from life. It's the essence of life. It's the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. And when you master it, you stop missing your life while you're living. So as this chapter comes to a close, remember, the present moment isn't something you have to find. It's something you have to choose, again and again. Even when your mind wanders, even when the world distracts you, return to now. Because now is where your peace, now is where your strength is, now is where your life is truly unfolding. And in the next chapter, we'll go even deeper into the practice that amplifies presence, gratitude. Because once you learn to live in the moment, gratitude teaches you how to cherish it. Presence awakens the soul, gratitude fills it, and together they turn an ordinary life into a sacred one. Chapter 9. The Power of Stillness. Finding Strength in Silence. There is a moment, rare and sacred, when the noise fades. The world slows down, and you realize silence isn't empty. It's full of answers you've been too busy to hear. In that stillness, time stretches. The air feels different, thicker, almost electric, as if something invisible is speaking, not with words, but with truth. You begin to sense that the voice you've been searching for, the one that knows what to do, who to trust, and where to go, has been whispering all along, waiting for you to finally listen. Stillness isn't the absence of movement, it's the presence of awareness. It's when your mind stops chasing, your heart stops begging, and your soul finally takes a breath. Most people never stop long enough to feel it. They rush from task to task, scrolling through endless noise, chasing validation that fades before the next sunrise. They confuse motion with progress and volume with truth. But here's the reality: the loudest life is often the most disconnected. Silence, real silence, is uncomfortable at first. It strips away distraction. It reveals what you've been avoiding, the thoughts you push down, the emotions you numb, the fears you pretend not to feel. They all rise to the surface in the quiet, and that's why many run from it. But here's the paradox: those who have the courage to face the silence eventually find peace within it, because silence doesn't expose you to emptiness, it introduces you to yourself. Think of it this way: every day, your mind is a crowded marketplace, voices shouting for attention, opinions, comparisons, judgments, all selling you stories about who you should be. But deep beneath that noise, there's a steady pulse. A voice that doesn't compete, doesn't shout, it simply is. That's your inner wisdom, and you can only hear it when you slow down enough to listen. Stillness is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It takes courage to pause when the world tells you to push harder. It takes wisdom to step back when everything demands your reaction. And it takes faith to believe that sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful thing you can do. Let's be honest, the modern world fears silence. It fills every gap with distraction. Music in elevators, notifications on your phone, constant commentary in your mind. We've forgotten how to be alone with ourselves without reaching for something to fill the space. But when you finally learn to sit in that space, when you let the noise settle and stop resisting the quiet, something profound happens. You start hearing what your soul has been trying to say all along. You realize that clarity was never something to find, it was something to remember. Stillness gives you vision. When you stop running, the fog begins to lift. You start seeing what truly matters, not what you were told to want, but what your spirit actually craves. It could be peace. It could be purpose. It could be the courage to start again. But you can't reach it if you never stop long enough to feel it. Sometimes, life forces us into stillness, a heartbreak, a loss, a failure, so deep it knocks the wind out of us. And though it feels cruel, those moments are sacred invitations. They pull you out of motion so you can finally see where you've been heading. They break the illusion of control, not to punish you but to awaken you. So the next time life slows you down, don't fight it. Don't rush to fix, distract or escape. Sit with it, breathe into the discomfort, because in that pause you'll rediscover something the world can't give, a connection to your own presence. The greatest ideas, the deepest healing, the most transformative clarity, they all emerge from stillness. Not from chaos, not from noise, from the quiet. And yet stillness is not about retreating from life, it's about moving through it consciously. It's walking slower, but with purpose. It's speaking less, but with truth. It's feeling deeply, but not being consumed by emotion. It's living, not reacting. When you make stillness a habit, everything changes. Your decisions become clearer, your energy becomes calmer, your relationships become more intentional. And your mind, once cluttered with 1,000 competing voices, begins to harmonize with your soul. You stop chasing validation, because peace becomes your new standard. You stop fearing solitude, because you've made peace your companion. And you stop doubting your direction, because you've learned to trust the quiet guidance within. Stillness is not about isolation, it's about alignment. It reconnects you with your intuition, your truth, your strength. And when you start living from that space, the external world loses its power over you. Remember this, the world will always try to pull you into its noise. It will tempt you to react, compare and compete. But you don't have to live at that frequency anymore. You can choose peace over panic, presence over pressure, silence over noise, because in that silence, life begins to speak again. It tells you where to go. It shows you what to let go of, and it reminds you that the answers you've been seeking have always lived inside you. Stillness is your reset. It's the breath between chaos and clarity, the moment between endings and beginnings. It's where your old self fades and your true self rises. So take a moment now, even as you listen, and breathe. Not to escape, but to arrive, to come home to yourself, to your center, to that quiet place inside that never left. This is where peace lives. Not in the noise of achievement, not in the rush of validation, but in the sacred stillness that reminds you, you are already enough. And when you learn to rest in that truth, your entire life transforms. Because stillness doesn't just calm your mind, it strengthens your spirit. It prepares you for what comes next. And what comes next is where your power truly begins to unfold. Chapter 10, The Summit Within. Integrating inner strength into every moment. Look around you. Every challenge you've faced, every setback, every quiet moment of doubt, all of it has been shaping you. Not in ways that were obvious at the time, but in ways that have quietly forged resilience, clarity, and an unshakable core. This chapter isn't about learning something new, it's about realizing what you already carry. The summit of your inner strength isn't somewhere out there, it's already within you. And now, it's time to stand at that peak and truly see what you've become. Think back on the moments that tested you the most. Perhaps it was a loss that felt unbearable, a betrayal that shook your trust, or a fear that froze your actions. In those moments, you had a choice to collapse under pressure or to rise, even when every fiber of your being whispered surrender. You chose, time and again, to rise, and that choice, that consistent act of courage, is the foundation of inner strength. It's quiet, subtle, almost invisible, but it's there. Every time you resisted despair, every time you acted with integrity, every time you returned to yourself after being lost, you were building something monumental, something permanent, something no external force can ever take from you. Now here is the essential truth. Inner strength is not about being unbreakable. It is about being flexible. It's the capacity to bend without shattering, to absorb pain without losing your essence, to face uncertainty without abandoning your center. Like a tree in the storm, you sway, you endure, but your roots run deep, anchored in your values, your clarity, and your self-belief. You've practiced presence, you've embraced gratitude, you've discovered stillness. Each of these chapters has been a layer, a tool, a lens to refine your inner strength. And now, the task is integration, bringing these lessons into every corner of your life. Integration is simple in theory, but profound in practice. It's the act of living your strength, not just feeling it in moments of reflection. It's responding instead of reacting. It's choosing calm over panic, clarity over confusion, love over resentment, and persistence over surrender. Integration is turning the wisdom you've cultivated into action every single day. Imagine a fire within you, small at first, flickering with uncertainty. Over time, you fed it with awareness, discipline, courage, and self-compassion. Now it burns steadily, warming not just you but those around you. That fire is your inner strength made visible. Every thought, every decision, every gesture can be touched by it. And yet, integration also demands honesty. You must recognize where you falter, where fear still lingers, where old habits threaten to pull you back. Strength is not the absence of weakness. It is the deliberate choice to act with integrity, despite weakness. It is the courage to meet yourself fully, including the parts you once wished to hide. Here is where transformation becomes real. When you can hold your ground without arrogance, extend compassion without losing yourself, and pursue your path without distraction. When your inner strength becomes the compass that guides not just your major decisions, but your smallest daily actions, from how you treat strangers, to how you handle disappointment, to how you nurture your dreams, you have reached the summit within. And make no mistake, this is not a peak that is ever finished. Strength is dynamic. Life will always bring storms, mountains, and unexpected paths. The difference now is that you are no longer a traveler, lost in the wilderness. You have a base, a foundation, a core that knows direction, even when the path is obscured. The integration of inner strength is also the key to freedom. When your strength comes from within, you are no longer enslaved by external approval, circumstances, or fleeting successes. You move with a quiet confidence, a grounded resilience, a peace that cannot be shaken. You are guided by principle, powered by self-awareness, and enriched by the wisdom of every experience that has tested and refined you. Pause for a moment and feel the depth of what you have cultivated, the quiet victories, the internal victories, the moments when you chose courage over comfort, truth over illusion, presence over distraction. These are not small things. They are the bricks of your foundation. From this summit, you can see clearly, you can act decisively, you can live fully. You no longer wait for life to make you strong. You carry strength into every moment. You are the source of your own courage, the wellspring of your own resilience. And when the world tests you, you respond not with panic or reaction, but with a poised, centered, and unwavering strength that radiates outward. So what comes next? The next step is simple. Continue integrating, continue practice, continue returning to presence, gratitude, and stillness. Continue to face challenges with honesty and courage. Continue to be gentle with yourself when you stumble, knowing that every misstep is part of the path to greater mastery. Inner strength is a journey, not a destination. And yet, as you stand here at the culmination of these lessons, know this: you are already extraordinary. You have everything you need within you. You are capable, resilient, and whole. Every chapter of this journey has been a reminder, a mirror, a beacon, guiding you back to your own power. Carry this truth into your life. Let it shape your actions, your relationships, and your choices. Let it be the quiet fire that illuminates even the darkest days. Let it be the calm in the storm, the anchor in the current, the voice of wisdom in the chaos. You have climbed, you have endured, you have awakened, and now, with strength integrated into every fiber of your being, you are ready to move forward, not just surviving but thriving, not just reacting but creating, not just dreaming but living fully. The summit is not a place, it is a presence. It is the realization that every challenge you face, every fear you meet, and every moment you inhabit is an opportunity to exercise your inner strength. And the higher you rise, the more expansive your view becomes, not just of the world, but of yourself. Take a deep breath. Feel the solidity within you. Feel the power that has always been yours, and step forward into your life with confidence, grace, and unshakable inner strength, because you have arrived, not at the end of the journey, but at the beginning of a life fully lived, powered from the inside out. This is your strength. This is your life. This is your summit. Final reflection. The journey of inner strength. Take a moment and close your eyes. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. Think back to the first chapter, when we began this journey together. You were standing at the edge of something vast, a world of possibilities, challenges, and untapped power within yourself. You may have doubted your ability, questioned your path, or wondered if inner strength was something reserved for others. But now, look at how far you've come. Every chapter was a step, every reflection, a tool, every story, a mirror showing you what courage, resilience, and awareness truly look like. Inner strength is not something you acquire in an instant. It's not a medal you wear or a title you earn. It's a living, breathing quality that grows each time you face discomfort, embrace presence, or act from clarity rather than fear. It is woven through your thoughts, your emotions, and your choices, subtle yet unstoppable. Think about the lessons you've encountered, the power of self-discipline, the importance of presence, the clarity born from stillness, and the resilience that rises when life knocks you down. Each was a brick in the foundation of your inner fortress, and the beauty of it is this: you already have everything you need to continue building, refining, and expanding that strength. The world outside may always demand more time, more energy, more attention, but your power lies in how you respond, not in controlling the chaos, but in mastering your center, not in escaping difficulty, but in meeting it fully, grounded in the truth of who you are. Now, as you carry this forward, remember 3 essential truths. First, strength is a choice. Every moment presents an opportunity to act with integrity, courage, and calm. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. Your choice is enough. Second, strength is reflected in presence. When you fully inhabit each moment, listening deeply, acting intentionally, feeling openly, you tap into a power far greater than anything external could offer. Presence is strength in its purest form. And third, strength is amplified through integration. All the lessons, all the reflections, all the insights you've gained are meaningless unless they touch your daily life. Let your strength guide your words, your decisions, your relationships, and your dreams. Make it tangible, make it lived, make it yours. You may face storms, setbacks, and fears. That is inevitable. But now, you have something unshakable. The knowledge that your inner strength is not dependent on circumstances. It is cultivated, anchored, and ever-present. It is the fire within that no one can extinguish. And so, this journey, your journey, does not end here. It begins anew every day, in every moment you choose to rise, to act, to love, and to grow. Each step forward is a testament to the power you carry. Each breath is a reminder that you are capable of far more than you have allowed yourself to believe. Take a final deep breath. Feel the energy, the clarity, and the calmness you have cultivated. Feel the strength that has always been within you, patiently waiting for your attention. Carry it into your life. Let it guide you. Let it shape the world around you. And let it remind you, always, that you are not merely surviving, you are thriving. This is your inner strength. This is your awakening. This is your life. Fully, powerfully, and beautifully live. And as you move forward from this moment, remember, the summit you've climbed is not a destination. It is a presence, a practice, a life lived from the center of your being. And every choice you make, every challenge you face, every dream you pursue, it is an opportunity to exercise that strength, to honor it, and to expand it. You are strong, you are capable, you are ready. And this is only the beginning. End of audio.